for a very specific purpose, to thank a couple of people who have asked me direct questions and made me feel like YouTubing me playing video games is not the most gigantic waste of time I could possibly come up with. The way that my parents back in the 90s would have liked me to believe. I'm going to show the perks I use, the weapons I use, the armor I use. So thank you, Ethan Deacon and Corey Jarvis, for being active commenters. Okay, here we go. I'm level 109-ish. I don't know exactly, something like that. I built this character to be a crafter. I'm gonna have to kill whatever's shooting at my camp first. Looks like somebody else has been here. Because if I spawned these enemies in, they'd be 48 and 68. Okay, back to it. Stay sneaked. Knowing I wanted a crafter, every time I play an MMO or an online game, or any game where I can communicate from one character to another, I always make my first character a crafter. That is because it allows me to mess up as I learn the game. You don't really need to min-max or perfect a crafter build, you just take the crafting things. Also, it means as I explore, I can collect for the character that will end up being crafter, although that stash weight problem with this game really limited that. And it also means any subsequent character I can make stuff for, leveling them up quicker. So it just makes sense to me to go with crafter first. Having done a little bit of research before doing that, I learned, and it was obvious anyway, that intelligence would be the crafter perk, or special. I wish I had 3. There's just a lot of really useful carry perks that require 3 strength. For me, with where I ended up, the one that reduces explosive weight would be number 1. I love explosives, and I just wish I could do that. Focus on getting my intelligence up to 15 right away, and I'm very happy with that. I knew too that with low strength and endurance I'd be kind of sneaky. I don't want to get hit a lot, so perception and agility 15. Endurance I'm happy with at 3. It doesn't seem like that stat itself is super helpful. I think it only gives you 5 hit points per point. With the starting hit points being 250, so what is that? 1/45th. A very small percent increase per point. I went with 4 charisma very specifically to get fully ranked up Lone Wanderer, knowing that was necessary. And then I did 3 luck for knowing I needed Super Duper, which is the best perk in the game, especially if you're crafting. Fortunately, it also means I get 3 points in Grim Reaper Sprint when I'm actually playing, which is very useful. And soon I will level up the cap collection. Alright, so with my strength perks, I don't worry about it. I have Traveling Pharmacy, that seems to be cool. I tried equipping Bandolier. It didn't really help that much. Ammo's not that heavy, except for EMC cartridges and like mini nukes and missiles and stuff, but those are explosives. Perception at 15 has been really helpful. Glow sight is like mandatory for the nuke zones. 80% of the enemies are bloated glowing ones, and 60% extra damage is fantastic. But I don't always run that. Generally, I actually leave the lockpicks. I do run into enough locks to where that matters. Additionally, I think 2 points in Grenadier is very great. Explosives are really good in this game. There are fantastic perks for it. So double radius is good. I like Green Thumb. I have a little bit of extra points. I keep that on. Fortune Finder I could give or take or give or whatever. But it's something to do. It's fun hunting the cap stashes. Fire in the hole I use all the time. I like having the arc. I'm messy with grenades. It's easy to like misjudge a wall, a collidable object, and blow yourself up, and they're very unforgiving, so I'll take that. I do not care about rank 2 and 3 for the extra distance. I guess it would be useful, but not enough. Definitely not enough. So 3 points in Crackshot, completely mandatory. Changes a pistol from a close to mid-range gun to a close to long-range gun. Concentrated fire I think is necessary for everybody, no matter what your build, unless it doesn't work for melee weapons, which I feel like it might not. I've never used them yet. But even then, the ramping up damage is still really nice, so if you're a very fast melee weapon, I still... And then my last slot just rotates out all the time. Mostly I want the actual benefit of the perception perk of the higher chance to hit VATs. I don't even know what else to put in it. I was running with awareness for a while and it was fun, but I mostly know what to use against which enemies. I have most of what I want for rifles, so at any point in time when I actually find a good rifle and enough mods to make one, I'll switch from pistols to rifles, at which point I intend to use 1 point in each of the damage things because that diminishing return is painful. I'd rather spend 1 point and get 10% than 3 to get 20. And then, I mean, it's kind of obvious. If you know what weapon you're going to use, you know what perks you want to use. This is really good, 36% armor ignore. The stagger could be really beneficial too, especially if you're running like a radium rifle that fires quicker. And I do intend to get the 3rd rank in that, and probably the 3rd rank in long shot as well. I haven't bothered yet because I know hitting that 15 points. Wait to see when I actually play my rifles, if I have the space for it, and if I want it. Because I have low endurance, I keep rejuvenated on pretty much all the time and situationally switch out the other point. Generally I keep Aqua Girl on because water. But I have switched it out for Cannibal quite a few times. Meat spoils, water doesn't. It's saved me a bit of headache. And it heals you a bit, so like Cannibal's cool. My 4 points in Charisma work out really well. I generally run Lone Wanderer. When I go to the vendors, I switch out for 3 points in Hard Bargain, which makes a huge deal. It's like 40% cost reduction when you buy things. I don't care about it when I'm selling things. It doesn't matter. I have way more than enough stuff to sell. But if I want to buy a plan that's 1,500 or 1,600 caps, and I can get it for 12, that's awesome. Or 11 even, I think. So I do Hard Bargain, and if I'm in a group, I also just throw on, I think it's called Magnetic Personality. Yeah. So that one little extra charisma, lower the price a little bit more. In a group, I run 3 points in Inspirational, and generally I throw away the last one. Travel Agent seems like a pretty good use of it. Those caps from traveling add up pretty quick. I just logged in, no one's with me, so I'll just go ahead and throw on Lone Wanderer. Okay, Intelligence is where I swap stuff out a lot. I'm in my camp right now. You know what, I'll do that last. Let's get the combat out of the way first. Demolitions Expert always, because it is the highest effect of any of the straight damage perks. Double damage compared to, or at 3 points, 100%, compared to, like you would get 50% with 5 perk cards in any other weapon. So that's pretty great. I will also run generally first aid and licensed plumber, which is, I am going to assume, underrated for a lot of people, and we'll get to that in a minute when I go over what I use for my weapons. But 90% reduction to weapon breaking and cheaper to repair. 90% is huge. And I have no proof whatsoever, but I do believe that if you run 1 rank in Gunsmith for that 10, it just stops your pipe weapons from degrading. At least it feels that way. I've leveled 40 levels to repair my guns. I didn't even realize that repairing weapons was like an issue until I was playing with my friend who kept telling me in one day that he had to go repair. I went 5 days without repairing. What else? I'm kind of relearning this as I go. I'll leave a lot of them on there. I took 3 points in Robotics Expert, knowing perfectly well that the end game was going to be a lot of robots, and I find that I don't really care for it. All you can do is pacify a robot, and then as soon as you shoot it, it becomes hostile, and I'm a sneaky build, so I'll just shoot it before it sees me, and this becomes completely worthless. Maybe if I were to sneak through a room and pacify everything and then shoot them one at a time, if they're not linked to each other with the aggro, if that works, then I can see it being useful again. But I haven't tested that yet. I do run first aid, but not the 1 point. Okay, it is up there. I do tend to leave Contractor on a lot because I love to chase the workshops, and it's extremely useful to be able to drop my blueprints that I've made that have all the crafting stations and a bed and a stash, and it looks cool, and some turrets, and it doesn't cost me anything. It comes out of the workshop station, and I do that enough to where I figure I'll just leave Contractor on. That's helpful. Otherwise, I will run Armorer. No, that's not true. Never mind, I don't do that. Lately I've been running batteries included for my power armor build, but that is a little different. I'll touch on that in a second. I tend to have some leftover points. Just for user friendliness, fill them up with Hacker, so I don't have to switch as much. Agility is messy too. Let's go ahead and remove these. Having a hard time focusing here. My standard agility loadout when I'm playing is 1 point in Adrenaline, 3 points in Covert Operative, 1 point in Escape Artist, and this, like, it genuinely works. Sneak to lose enemies, and running no longer affects stealth. I run all over the place, and I've ran right past enemies without noticing me, and then quickly like hit B, which is what I have stealth bound to, and been okay. But more importantly, I've aggroed enemies, had them seen me, and as long as I take cover, stand behind a corner, a bus, whatever, and sneak, it's pretty likely they'll go into the caution searching mode. And even better if you're in the dark. The dark really matters in this game. This is not optimized right now. I would rather just have 1 point there. I guess that's actually something I need to do. Maybe that'll be my next perk. Where did it go? Obviously, I'd rather have 1 point expert and 1 point master or standard or whatever. It'd be worth more. But I have 2 in them all. So 2 points in Gun Fu. I suppose if I put the 1 point per, you know what? I think I can do that. Let's change in my build as we go. There. Oh, and here I am, not thinking again. I don't have a point to spend. I would rather have 3 points in Gun Fu. It's very useful. 3 points in Sneak. Sneaking is really useful. It works very well, probably too well. And then I just always run Grim Reaper's Sprint. It goes really well with the Gunfu VATS heavy build. Now if I had made this character without the intention of crafting, I would not have 15 points in intelligence, but I would have 15 points in luck, and then I'd run all the crit stuff, the one that makes it take only 55%, the one that does more damage, and the one that lets you bank them. For sure, I'd run those all the time. But that'll be a way down the line character. And that's it. You can see even right here I have a few points left, so the rest is open. So that's my combat build. When I do also now have a power armor build, I held off until I actually had the Ultra Sight armor, at which point things changed just a little bit, and entirely in intelligence. I absolutely run batteries included. And this is still new to me, so I might not remember it by the picture. Power patcher. Because power armor is very expensive to repair, so if I can hold off on letting it degrade, that, yes please. And power user. Doubling that duration of fusion cores. I don't like loading screens, I don't like returning to camp, I don't like management. If I want to play and kill stuff, I want to play and kill stuff. I know that I could have higher damage output, and then I'd kill stuff faster, but to me that's not important. I'd rather spend my time out in the field, and a lot of the time I find that shy gulpers are a pain. But like Scorched and Ghouls, they go down to one headshot anyway, so I don't need to get more damage. That's just overkill and wasteful. And then I do believe the rest of my points are still kind of open. Oh, it's just 1 point, so a point in Scrapper. I like to leave Scrapper on. So that's the power armor modification to the build, and it's pretty nice. Okay, now when I craft, I've had people ask for what I wear and my gun loadout. So let's start with the guns. Wrong workstation, I'm sorry. Okay. I run 3 pipe pistols. I think I just picked this up so that I could drop it. I have a bolt action. It's my high damage gun. It's very slow. I don't like it very much, but if I am in the dark, taking my time, and the enemies aren't too dense, and I can pick them off with a headshot, this is the go-to weapon. It's all about maximum damage output, so nothing compares to the hardened receiver. It's just the most damage. I don't care about anything else. Long barrel range, 186 range is really good. It works. I suppose I could do the bruising. Keep with standard, that's 0.9 pounds lighter, and that's pretty valuable. Why would you not use this on a sniper, right? So, long recon scope. And a suppressor, of course, because I'm a sneaky build. The gun I find myself using almost all the time, 90% of the time, is the revolver. It's built really similarly, hard, just straight damage output, that's important. Long barrel to get that reach. I think it slows the gun down, like with reloading and maybe even in between shots. And it probably also opens up hip fire, the spread, the reticle. So just don't hip fire as much. Reflex is quick and snappy, and it allows you to have crack shot. The grips are just, they're not very impressive to me. Hip hipfire accuracy is what I went for. Maybe I should go with aligned. I'd be willing to bet that's really good too. Maybe even stabilized. I'll test that out later. And a suppressor, of course, because it's a sneaky build. And then the standard pipe gun, which fires really fast. It holds bullets. Earlier it had 15, so I switched out my magazine. This is the oh shit gun, so everything comes at me and I just want to start dumping out bullets as quickly as I can. I switch to this. I also find that it's really great for ramping up the crit meter. Pop off as many shots as I can until the crit bar is full, switch over to the pipe one, aim at the head, consume my crit, start over. So that's actually how I'll fight Scorch Beasts. And it's built basically identically to the revolver. With magazine for this gun, and I go with perforating because the wording implies it is the most extra damage. There seems to be a hierarchy of wording in the mods, superior being the highest, and then there's improved. I wanted to think there's one more, but maybe not. Yep, so perforated magazine. That's my gun loadout. They're pretty light, it's really helpful. I thought I had one more gun that I have been using that is really fun, and I'll show it off. I don't know why I'm not carrying it right now. This guy. I have it silenced. I don't think it comes with a silencer based on Fallout 4. And 3, for that matter. It is a Western revolver. I think it might be the same as a single-shot revolver, which I do have the plans for, but I just got them, so I will make those and decon those and see if I unlock more mods. But not being silenced really bothers me. And also, it is the loudest gun I have heard in the game. But look at it! It's so much damage, and it has 3 perks, and the double damage if target is full health is excellent. But I think it doubles the base damage. I don't think you get 5 times damage. I don't think it takes into effect sneak attack damage. I haven't felt it hit hard. But let's go ahead and fire it. It does kind of negate sneaking. It's so loud. But it's a fun gun, and I like it. Okay. Armor. Okay, I have had a few legendary armor pieces, but they had such specific bonuses that I don't care. Like, I was running minus 15% damage from Scorched, and I bet that probably was very helpful to me, but I don't run it anymore. Because I just recently decided to make the 2 marine armor pieces that I have. Let's actually go to what I'm wearing. I'll repair this during this video to make a demonstration of how helpful the repair reduction perks are. This came from the story, like midpoint through the story, so that's kind of nice. It has really high, it's heavy combat armor, I believe. So I've been using that since I got it. And the linings for the clothing are really, really good. I have better ones, but I don't have the materials. This being the best one I have right here. Takes pure cobalt, I believe flux. I can't read it because for that. So next time I'm in a nuke zone, I'll make a really strong point to get that. But yeah, you can see that it just kind of adds each time. Luck and endurance. Add in some intelligence. Add in strength, and then up to 2. So that's really cool, and I bought all those. I don't think I looted or got any of those as a reward. I wear a mining helmet because it's useful. The light is really useful, and if you haven't noticed or played with them, you can change the light, and the bright light is actually quite bright. This is pocketed because I don't have ultralight yet. You do get combat armor through the story as well, and it's pretty decent. From, it might have been Watoga train station. These are just things I looted and haven't deconned yet. I definitely bought the ultralight for the marine limbs and chest at Watoga train station. It's not that expensive. I just only know how to make the arms right now. Pocketed is, or deep pocketed rather, can be competitive with ultralight, but ultralight gives you AP. And then if you switch into power armor, your stuff still weighs almost nothing. As opposed to deep pocketed, it still weighs a ton and you lose your carry weight. So I greatly prefer ultralight. And I gotta fix a lot of stuff. Yeah, here's the one that's minus 15% damage from Scorched. Apparently I still use that, and I like it. The regular leather armor is fine. The heavy leather armor is... I haven't bothered with it. I don't know why I have bothered with it. I probably should. Okay, so that's that. And now let's fix some stuff so we can see the difference. Let's just do it without the perks first, and for a reference point. Okay. It's not going to let me repair it because I don't have plastic. Alright, 12 plastic, 9 adhesive, 8 screws, 7 ballistic fiber. That's painful. So we switch over. And I'm not going to show them off and all that. I do have 5 points in Makeshift Warrior to make melee weapons, and 5 points in Gunsmith. Armor, those are some of the first things I got as soon as they unlocked because I want to make stuff, and I'm a little disappointed at how few recipes I naturally came across and how many I still don't have. I'd love to make Gauss rifles. Anyway, I generally just remove whatever is at the top. And to fix things, we need Fix It Good, 200% normal condition, so we swap that in. I'll go ahead and fix my weapons too, so we'll get Weapon Artisan on there, which I don't have fully ranked up yet, which is Fix It Good for weapons. Okay, we need Ammo Smith. We'll make some ammo. If I have any lead, I probably don't. And white. I'll talk about home defense in a later video when I actually have a single additional plan to the defenses. I believe that's it that we need from here, and always, always, always super duper, because it will double anything you make with a reasonably okay chance. It's not going to affect my repairing, but it's one of those things that you can tell just from me talking. I get really scattered and distracted easily, so develop good habits, especially when it comes to something that can really affect some of the rewards of your grinding. Okay, I remember 7 ballistic fiber, and was it 8 screws? 1. Huge difference. I'm not going to fix that yet. tend to let my stuff break. I don't worry about it very much. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm going to fix at the moment. Okay. Let's take off. Oh, I don't have it equipped yet anyway. Yeah, see, these things are still, like, I've used them so much. But let's do it for the sake of doing it. 7 adhesive, 7 copper. That's, I don't want to lose that. Copper sells for a lot. I don't find it to be very rare, but it does sell for a lot. So if I have ran myself out of other things to sell, that is my go-to. Looking for licensed plumber. One of each. And if anyone's watching and you aren't, or you are still lower level and you haven't played with Fix It Good or Weapon Artisan, or I think if you craft items, like I think the first time I saw it was after I got rank 3 armor, I can barely see it. Of that yellow condition bar. You get, well, it would be double if I had 3 ranks, but I have 2, so that's just a second condition bar stacked up on top. And I believe, oh, we were gonna do some ammo. I can't make any ammo. But it already applies the Ammo Smith perk. You can see how many you're going to get. I'll get it twice. It's very helpful. I must have just made myself ammo pretty recently. I'm gonna guess for my 45 rather. Yeah, I definitely just made some. And I'd be really surprised if I have any blood packs to make stim packs. But let's see. Nope. But here you can see that if I dilute the stim pack, I get 4, not 2, which is great because I generally use my stim packs when a limb has broken, not when I'm hurt. If I can avoid it, I don't use the stim packs. If I'm injured, I eat or drink water. You know, unless I'm in the middle of a fight, and then I just hit the hotkey button right on the Xbox controller, and use them that way. But that's a lot. That's making a lot more healing out of one stim pack. And if I step it down twice from a super stim pack, that's even more. And super duper can proc on this as well. So let's go ahead. I have 2 enough to do twice. Let's see if it happens. There's the sound. It happened. So I just made 12 diluted stim packs. Or maybe I made 16. I must have already had 2, so there we go. Pretty great. This is different from Fallout 4, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But you can put the small water purifiers in the dirt. So I keep one of those at my camp. If I build at a workshop, especially the bigger ones, I like to do it at like Craft and Steel. When I stop making this video, it might be one of the first places I go. I like to make 5 small water purifiers and power them all. And then every time I go in there, I just loot a whole bunch of water. It's great for selling. It's great to have. If ever I feel like my encumbrance is getting high, I'll just drop it. It's no big deal. There'll be more when I come back. It says it produces 12 an hour, and it does, but it can only hold 2. So that's pretty relevant. That's an important distinction to make. And I believe that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover here. Sorry about the Xbox mic. I know it doesn't sound super great. I'll cut the video feed after I set myself back up to go out and do my thing. This does get tiring, and the #1 quality of life patch change I would request Bethesda to make is add loadouts. Let us save a list of loadouts, please. Where do I spend my last point? I gotta fix that later. Let's play with awareness a little bit more. I can get rid of Fortune Finder. It's not really doing me much good. And there we have it. That's all I've been playing. I can't wait to make new characters and check out different builds. But this has treated me pretty well. I was pleasantly surprised by the power armor. And my phone's ringing, so perfect time to end. Thanks, everybody.